Okay, it's time to do another review of Superman and Lois. I'm still a bit under the weather. Today's better than yesterday, so hopefully things will get better. But anyway, thanks for the well wishes that I got online. So, watched Superman. This is titled A Brief Reminiscence in Between Cataclysmic Events. Boy, that's too long of a title. Maybe I'll just say episode 11 for the title on YouTube and put the full title in the thumbnail. Anyway, so they had the big battle over Smallville. The last episode where Superman had to use his Nova power, which is a big blast to wipe them out and power the device his mother's, uploaded spirit into the body of Lana Lang made for him. And so it worked, but the catch is it drained Superman's power, yet he was still able to somehow fly back to the Fortress of Solitude. And he crashes in the snow and crawls back to the fortress, but passes out before he gets there. Oh no, what happened? Well, so the show opens up and it's all flashback on his early life, and we get to see all the episodes of Superman we missed because Supergirl was in the way. The cool thing is we do see him back in the Max Fleischer outfit and stuff like that, and it's sort of an adaptation of the Christopher Reeve Superman film. They borrow heavily from that. Although the Fortress of Solitude was much more impressive in that movie than this. It's just a cave, and they still do the scene where the crystal creates the whole thing, and like a mountain rises up out of the ice. It's just, well, I mean, of course it's a better disguise, I guess. No one would notice what it is, except there's not supposed to be a mountain there. But it's the super cave. That's all. You would think the interior at least would look a lot cooler, but anyway. So, so they show you all that, and how the digital spirit of his father teaches him what to do, and you get some scenes there, and some of it's also reminiscent of Man of Steel, and also the conflict between him and Morgan Edge, or Tal-Rho, is similar between Superman and Zod in Man of Steel and all that. And Zod was all about the Kryptonian people, and that's all that mattered, and that was his justification for everything. And it's the same thing here for Tal-Rho, which is why I wish that my idea was better, where these were, people, Kryptonians trapped in the Phantom Zone, led by Zod, and they were possessing people. Stuff like that could have been interesting, but anyway, whatever. The thing of it is that that's not Morgan Edge's character, and it's not what he's about, and stuff like that. So. And other elements of having a Kryptonian arrive before Superman. I mean, it's one thing when it was in the Man of Steel, where it's the little tease that there was an ancient Kryptonian, and the prequel comic revealed that was, Kara Zor-El, a different version of her from the distant past, was there, and possibly mothered all the metahumans of the Earth and all that. It seemed like that's what they were going for. But here, you have someone who arrives just a couple of years before Kal-El does, and just has the opposite experience about it. Anyway, what is it's done. Looks like that's what they're going to do. So, not happy about that, but still a good show overall compared to everything CW has done, just about. and there's almost nothing to point to as SJW stuff. This episode, there's a brief moment where it does this. There's a villain in his early Superman career that he has to fight, and I guess it was supposed to be a nod to the Atom Man, which was a creation of the Nazis. Here he's this, I guess, a white supremacist who's attacking immigrants, saying they don't belong here. But it is in keeping to stories of Superman's past, all the way back to the old radio show and stuff like that. So of course he defeats him, and this is how Lois Lane meets Superman. She met Clark earlier. He shows up trying to get a job at the Daily Planet, They weave in some of the footage they did in the pilot, and they do it very well, where he saves the boy from the van that's about to crash on and recreate sort of the action one scene, you know, and all that stuff. And so he goes to the Daily Planet, and it's highly unlikely that he would get the job, but he does. He begs for it, and Perry White gives it to him, and so sends him over to Lois to show him the ropes, and instantly he's in love with her. And apparently it's vice versa, which is I mean, she's, you know, she's not showing it, but it becomes, you know, she admits it to a friend later and all this sort of stuff. But, you know, that's not really the story. Eventually, yes, she does love Clark, and especially when she fully confirms they're both the same person. But the real story is she's deeply infatuated with Superman. As soon as she sees him, that's it. You know, that's who she cares about. And the you know, love for Clark came later. But here, you know, it's kind of like, well, that kind of puts Lois in a bad light, but it's also a very understandable one. You know, Superman's the more impressive guy and all that. But you know, maybe that's why they decided to have it to where she was always in love with Clark, and she's actually irritated that Superman is taking up all the headlines because she wanted to follow this story about this, you know, racist killer guy who I guess was supposed to be Atom Man, although he didn't have any powers or anything. He had the metal helmet and was threatening to use a flamethrower at people and throw bombs at them and stuff. Anyway, you keep seeing these ghostly images appear to Superman, and then you say, oh, he's not dreaming while he's asleep in the snow. No, something else is going on. Yes, it's all a fake out. It's Morgan Edge using a Kryptonian device to peer into the dreams and memory of Superman to learn all about his family, which is odd because he knew who Clark was, so he knows the kids and everything, but he's going through, they're giving you this flashback and showing the birth of the boys, and so he's standing over there menacingly about the boys, and he already knew that, so he could have used this ahead of time. So I guess you could say that he was trying to win over Clark just by presenting his ideas about how things should be and that the Kryptonians should take over the Earth. He thinks he's a smart enough guy to figure out that wasn't going to work. So now he's down to, I'm going to kill your family if you don't, you know, submit to me. So ultimately, that's what Superman does. He leaves Kal-El at the Fortress of Solitude. He's still very much in a weakened state, and he heads back to Smallville to threaten Lois and her kids. And he's about to kill them, and then Superman manages to show up at the last second, just barely, and he says, all right, I'll do whatever you want, just don't hurt my family. And he says, all right. So he takes Superman with him to his fortress in some desert somewhere, and they kind of recreate the scenes in his own flashback, where that's how he went on his journey of discovery, and his crystal created his fortress in a desert. And of course, it's just another mountain in a cave, so it's the Talro cave, and his sick, twisted father is there, and tortured this guy to get him to where he wanted him to be. So now they're putting Superman into this torture chamber, and the fear is that these are the events that led to the alternate worlds in where John Henry Irons came from. So at the end, after Superman agrees to Talro's terms and flies away, Lois goes to the phone to call up John and tell him, I think what you said is coming true. Of course, it isn't true. Lois and John were not married. They didn't have a daughter. The events are different. Obviously, Superman is not going to turn, but perhaps they'll get him there. But then his love for Lois will bring him back. Something like that, maybe. Unless Superman's got an ace up his sleeve and is pulling a fast one. That would be the better outcome, in my opinion. But before he went over there, Morgan Edge had crushed his Kryptonian crystal, so he doesn't have Jor-El's image anymore. But then, I don't know, maybe he fixed it. and he's got something going on. I was wondering if he's in that chamber. Does it have like another thing from the Christopher Reeve Superman 2, where he reversed the molecular chambers processes to where it took away the Kryptonian criminals' powers and not his. But that's not what they're doing. They're not taking his powers away. They're trying to turn him through this torture or whatever it is. So anyway, there you go. I'm not happy about the backstory of Morgan Edge here, but it is what it is within its form. I can't fault it entirely, just plot points and a story presentation. And even with the racist Atom Man, I think it is supposed to be a nod to the Atom Man story, which is long ago. So it might be more of that, but of course it is this. The white supremacists are everywhere. They used to be a long time ago. They're not anymore. They lost. But like those phantom images of Morgan Edge, So I guess you could. The whole case, they tossed a little point out for that, but if that's all it is. That's not enough to say, there it is. It's finally gone woke. Hardly. It really hasn't. But we'll see. There's, 4 episodes left, I think. So, but damn, 11 episodes and they have some racist killer briefly and he gets defeated. That's not enough to qualify in today's era as a woke episode. So I'm still saying it's going pretty strong, with none of that nonsense in it. I pointed out what I see as flaws, but they're not enough to sink the show. So then there was The Flash, and I'll cover that later. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.